Hi everybody, this is Samuel Durbidge. I am just relaxing here on my couch in my place. I wanted to do a video today. So, for those of you that wonder what I'm about, I'm going to focus on a few things. Whatever you think, feel, and think about these people and react to people, you create that reality to effect. Everybody has a perception about someone, and whatever you think about the individual, you create that reality. Science, water science, energy science, red braided information, Silicon Valley, um, sports programs, they all confirm this. Theta Wellness in Sandy, Utah even confirm water energy science. Jars of where you talk to water, it has memory. Frozen 2 brings that up, a lot of that stuff. So that's mostly what I'm about. But I also know that we all sometimes have a hard time separating our individual life of things that occur, and we react to them because we have to or we feel we need to based off of our safety or with people around us. We don't want to be rude. So, and we don't want to pressure them to believe what we believe. And so, what I've done recently is I've let a disability line and others know about this channel. Now, I'm doing this recording for them and for others to know that everything that I mention in my videos, I've been pretty clear. If you have any questions on whether I really believe something or not, you just need to ask me individually and be patient and break it down with me and understand me individually. Um, as we bless each other individually with our thoughts, feelings, and emotions, we create the reality for ourselves and for others. If we ignore others' needs and we don't understand them, we need to think of them as if they're us, because we are all one, connected according to the sciences and the studies out there. The Gateway program explains astral projection, other stuff that was done in the 80s. That's actually from Freedom Information Act. That is public record, military record. CIA, FBI understand that connection as well. And it is something you just have to look for. They don't generally bring it up in the main news media, but they have. You don't always notice it because they bring up other stuff to get you to be more focused on that than those things being brought up. Because the news is more neutral. They bring up everything that they're told to by their the one that owns the company of that news source. So you just got to be smart about what you're realizing. But it's the same with political avenues and individuals in government. They have certain agendas and certain plans and agreements that they've made that are both classified and non-classified. But everybody has a right to know what's being happening to them for their safeties of loved ones and themselves. We need to pray for one another as if we're each other, if that's what you believe in prayer in. But even if you don't pray, you are praying anyway. Your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions are prayer. They're energy. Prayer is just energy. Words are within words. I brought up that. So, judging and misjudging people. So, when you focus on non judgment and you love one another and care about each other, you help heal one another. And that's what I'm about. Now, the reason why I brought up the certain things about certain attacks that have occurred was because of certain things that happen. Now, I record everything that I do, voice recording, wherever I go. And some neighbors in my building found that out and got upset at me recently. But I was on the phone with the manager when they got upset with me of the housing because I lost my keys that day, and they said they called her, so I called her for that reason. And then others tried to think that I was doing it for other reasons or telling her other things that I wasn't. Because there's a lot of people in the buildings that I live in that have mental disabilities and smoke or do other things that affect their health needs, and they do it for whatever purpose they do it for, health wise or not health. I don't know the reasons, and I don't want to judge others because I'm them and they're me, and I love and I pray for everybody. But there have been accusations at me recently due to false understandings of me from housing and other people and other stuff that have been false. I have voice recording and things that I'd say, but I prayed as well. And I have a prayer room in my hall. I even have the golden rule as the only rule thing on my wall. Now, I'm going to show a few things. right here, let's show you this. This is the golden rule. It's the only rule. My camera, phone camera, doesn't let me really switch camera mode on here, does it? Yeah, it's having trouble switching the camera mode to go the other direction. Let me pause for a second. Yeah, it's not letting me switch it around for some reason. I gotta figure out how to do that with this camera phone. But anyway, yeah, the golden rule is the only rule. Is something that I always go by. I've posted it on the other videos, and you can find it in the slideshow videos of that. I've also posted it on my Twitter at Durbin Samuel. I post a lot of things. I've been recently reading a book and doing the audio book. Excuse me, I'm going to be moving around here. Looking at me here. So I've been reading this audio book, A Course in Miracles. I don't know if you see that, or Course in Miracles. If it's too far, and forgive me for this, for how I'm trying to show that. That is a huge book, but it has a lot of therapeutic focus that someone did back in the 80s. And I noticed connections to the Gateway program information on that. Also, stopthecrimes.net and stopcrimes.com. There's this guy named Terry that I have been following or talking to, and he gave me some advice on how to protect oneself. But you can get a hold of him. I don't know if I'll put any links or anything below, but I'll do what I can with my phone. But for now, I wanted to let people know that was personally attacked in my home a month or two ago. But at nighttime, I have different experiences, and my dreams aren't always dreams. I wake up out of the dream experience noticing that it wasn't a dream. Maybe it was me sleepwalking, thinking it was a dream, and then someone infiltrating or using tech. There is free energy tech out there or tech that's being used. I don't know if it's free energy tech, but tech that's being used in the government agencies. They're gang stalker program type agencies, but they're just deep state or shadow government type of agencies connected. And the disability line, I called them for abuse of disabilities. I told them what was going on with me and that that's happened. And they said, we can't do anything about that, but there's nothing we can do or whatever. And we can note it, we can try. And it didn't mean that they weren't trying. They put it in there, and I said, but this is threatening my life. And I let them know what's happening, and that if they ignore, it could happen to their children and them, and that anybody in the religion I was in is connected to these possible programs. And it's in quitmormon.com, brings up agreements legally that they do or were allowed to do. I got drawn to this other person's site on YouTube. I watch his channel now and then. Not general. I don't know if I watched it on this one. I think I have it on my Samuel Loomis channel. I watch his videos on that channel mostly, but he brings up about the church, because this is mostly for me in my book channel here. But I felt I needed to post this to both channels because of what is going on. So I am a little bit concerned with what's happening because it has threatened my life. It's messed with my health needs. Whenever I tried to let Medicaid and Medicare know about my needs and give them a prescribed document referral from doctor for my needs, they would say, oh, well, we can't do that, or we're not going to do that, or something. And they tried to act as if they try to tell me that when gave the referral, they said, well, the Medicare Medicaid law doesn't let you have the needs unless it's in a needle syringe to give you that nutrition or something or whatever. I was like, well, that's horrible. I said, because I go for raw organic protein powder. It is considered a medicine, but it's not a medicine. It's natural supplement that I need for me. And I got prescription from the doctor through my doctor that I go to. And I'm not going to really bring up that information on here necessarily who that doctor is, but I have doctor notes on that I've given to that doctor because that's personal for my protection. But that doctor is a DO, Doctor Osteopathy, and I've worked with him. And what is interesting, and I have that doctor note and stuff, but basically, I'll just read the doctor note for you. I'm not going to show it. I'm going to read it here. Okay, so my patient Sam Durbridge has multiple complicated medical conditions that require special conditions. This was done July 22nd, 2019. He has multiple conditions that require special conditions. Now, he knows that I've had back surgery and things, and I've broken 13 bones my first year of life, and he knows a lot of stuff of that. He's aware of the full body understanding of what I would prefer. I've even asked him that I would like to have people that can meditate with me if he knew anybody that could do that for free or coverage with me to meditate and do the correct Braden type of meditation for healing or manifesting desired life so that I can be free and get out of the place that I live and be safer somewhere else, because I feel like I've been attacked here. Not just feel, I've noticed attacks. I had a pin, and I brought that up in these other recent videos of my book. And I'm not trying to do this to bring fear. I'm trying to give this to bring awareness so that we can not stop them, but heal the situation and stop me and others from being penalized or attacked or hurt by it. Because my family and others don't even understand that this has occurred to me. They don't even want to believe it. And yet some of them may understand it's going on and hide that they're even part of it. But I've had feelings that they might be, and I was spiritually told and felt that they could be. But I don't want to blame that they are or aren't. All I know is I've been around people that I feel more safer, but even the ones I feel safer with or have been around or on the phone or whatever, due to everything that's been going on, being safe, there's been a lot of stuff. I react to the water because it has fluoride and chlorine and chemicals, and my body reacts to that more. I'm also waiting to try to get nurse aides to come and help me because I can't lift more than 5 or 10 pounds very much without hurting my lower back fracture or maybe triggering it. So I usually try to use my walker when I carry things. Sometimes if it's light stuff or if it's just a short distance to my car in here, maybe I can if the environment is okay, but it's usually not really what I should do. But I just don't have the needs that I require here as much, other than having the elevator and other stuff. And then having the earthquakes that have happened in the last month or so, that's kind of affected me too with my needs. And then the coronavirus quarantine and all of those things, which I know is some other agenda that's going on. But that's for whatever they're choosing to do. But I want to stand up for the weak and the afflicted and people that are being misinterpreted or not understanding each other. I want to bring people together, not tear people apart, not making false judgments to each other, but love each other and forgive each other and pray for each other. I have the golden rule is the only rule information up on my wall that I tried showing you. But I have it in every place. I have it on my door. I have it on the front of my door so that I can bless people that walk by it and read it. Because the AKIM, A Course in Miracles, teaches you to do similar things like that and focus to open up people's light and spirit to this realm that we're in. Because we're all a piece of the same connection of God or connection of a God being, however you want to look at it. Now, I don't believe or disbelieve anything that's really said there, but it has a lot of things similar to what I experienced in 2017, where I saw Christ hug me and bond with me and be there for me, when I was suffering cancer that was rare form that I found out had to deal with chemicals and geoengineering that was put into our atmosphere that I react to more. Now, I don't know why. I do have B negative blood, and some people think that that's connected to possible hybridization of alien species from other worlds. But pretty much everybody on this planet is interbred with alien species and probably have HET, MET, heritage connection. And MET is malevolent extraterrestrial connection. That could be under the umbrella of, figuratively speaking, of, and maybe even literally, who knows, however you want to look at it, but that are basically AI, artificial intelligence, humanoid extraterrestrial, HET, information. I know Coley UFO, Coley ET5 or something that follows my channels and stuff here. She's a really amazing individual. She knows things that have been going on and been aware, and she's a doctorate psychologist and aware of these things that have happened to her and others. And she's got credentials on that, and I've talked to her about what I've experienced, and she knows these things are going on just like I am. And I was affected with things that others would never understand. But I am more about A Course in Miracles, that we could all be in a dream state form. I don't know if that's the case or not, but it feels very similar to what I was told in 2017 by a Christ consciousness connection who came to me and hugged and bawled with me because it was a Christ-centered therapy at Theta Wellness in Sandy, Utah, where they use NASA type of Theta Wellness machines, where it's air, binary beats, and light therapy, and then light therapy machines and other things. And it really does help you heal from your anxiety and health issues. Well, back in 2019, last year, I became fully healed on my own through acknowledging my pain of realizing the connection to the religion I realized was connected to these groups that caused these gang stalking agreements to happen to me since I was younger. And then it happens to most people born into that church and they don't even know it's happening to them. I realize that most people that get affected and wake up to it more are those that have more of my personality of awareness, who have high IQs of breaking a lot of bones and have nothing but trying to find solutions. But also, we tried trying to fit in with what others felt we should do, and then we didn't always do it right, or we tried to get attention where we weren't getting attention in at times in the past. But then we decided, we need to be better and not just try to play the games that everybody else is playing and do the right thing. And so I chose to do the right thing and follow my heart rather than trying to play the games of society of thinking you're doing the right thing when you know that you may not be. And I choose to do the right thing with all my heart. Now, a lot of people like to misjudge people by looking at them and seeing if they are looking at the camera or not looking at the camera, or looking away and looking in their head and thinking. My process of my brain is I have to think in my head. I have a 3/4 slower. I'm on disability necessarily because of these personal attacks that did happen to me before that I realized occurred that put me under this issue. And it was because of the neglect and understanding. And some of them didn't know that they were doing it, and they caused it because of things that others told them to do and introduced them into playing games and things to people who have needs. And then they run away instead of taking responsibility for what they caused or helped cause, instead of being there for the individual for accidentally causing that. Now, not all of them did that. There are some friends in that church that accidentally stubbed my nose or hurt me and then started to be my friend accidentally because it happened accidental. But there were some things where people were playing tricks and they caused me to get hurt, and then they felt bad. Some ran away because they didn't want to get caught for what they caused. But I do feel that there is a lot of things that are happening in this world that people don't know. But yeah, I was brutally affected when I read my book on this channel. I was attacked at night after bringing it up. And the people that attacked me, there was one that was Hispanic, and he wore certain special tech that could be invisible and come in your home. And so maybe the cameras out in the hall never saw him. I don't know. But it's kind of hard to speak out about that. That's why I let the disability line or others know, because I don't know who to trust or who to tell about this. You tell the police about something like that, how are they going to believe somebody that's invisible tech doing those things? And how do you know the police isn't involved? I've heard all sorts of horrible stories, so it was hard to understand who to trust and who not to. So I followed my heart and I did what's right. But now I'm telling people more about it because I feel it needs to be known. And I hope you let others know what's happening. And if any authorities are looking at this and they know about these things, please do something about it and stop this happening to me and others. And I want you to look into my information and look into classified information of projects that may have my name in there, Samuel Stephen Dervis. Maybe they have me as a different name or code name. I've been called Michael before, which is not my name. But I've also been called Stan with a T instead of SAM. So I've been called different names, and I don't know if they would have taken those aliases or those things and tried to. Maybe that's why certain people called me that, because they remembered me in projects or something when I was being abused in MK Ultra as that name, and they put gang stalker people around you, and they act like you're friends or that they're there for you to monitor you because they know that you know too much and they're told to do that, or they're threatened if they don't. And some of them are being paid $50,000 to do it to people. Yeah, $50K or more. $50K to $100K is what's popping into my mind right now. And so I have a lot of intuition that comes into my mind and thoughts ever since I left the church or chose to ask for my records to be pulled and processed, which should be pulled really soon now because I asked for it and it's on their desk and they should be doing it. I was confirmed that they did it, and I saw that they closed down the LDS account online, and so maybe they're going to now send me a letter saying you are now pulled from the church. I hope so, and if they do, I'll put that on there on my channels to show I'm no longer part of that church. But I asked for that church and others to stop doing these gang stalking programs or stop allowing the connections, because I pulled out of your church because I noticed you connected and allowed this to happen to me since I was younger under your agreements or rules. And regardless of what reasons you did it for, since you harmed me and harmed children and others into adulthood, and even recently since I haven't been in your church and left it, you've had attacks. And the ones that have attacked me came in when I saw them, it was like a sleepwalking experience or something. Or I saw a guy that was Hispanic looking. He wasn't really buff, but he was kind of broad shoulder type guy, and he seemed kind of nice, but he was just doing what he was told to do, and he thought that he came in here to do what he was told for his military group connection, private military group, or whatever it was. And I don't know who it was, but he was wearing military tech and things. So that attack, but it's connected to these gang stalker programs, but they're not called gang stalker programs. They're actually known as that, but they're deeper than that. Basically what they are is they are tech programs or technology programs connected to agency programs. I know the Gateway program was done in the 80s, and they can use time travel. So it could be that some of them are coming from the past or even the future into this time frame and messing with this time frame and messing with me and others physically, because they say we don't believe in God when we do believe in a God connection. Maybe it's we don't believe in their belief system. So because of that, they attack us almost like they're attacking us, similar to what the Crusades or other beliefs, like a religious war. And yet we care about peace and love for all people. And I'm more about the golden rule is the only rule stuff. And that doesn't say that I don't believe in a God. That shows that I believe in prayer and healing like Christ taught. And I have been blessed by that and hugged and balled with by that Christ being who was there for me when no one else was, healing me and helping me and warning me and letting me tell people so others can be helped and loved. And that includes the gang stalkers themselves. I even have I even have paper that says I bless any gang stalkers that try to come in. I bless you, forgive you, and I ask you, look at this and be aware of what I'm about. As you do unto others, you do to yourself. Whatever. So to get them to think before they try to do something they'll regret. And letting them, it's all over it's on my walls, it's on my doors. I have it there with my dream board above some of them, and other pictures to focus on my desired life that I want. And it's just, I'm not against any church or anybody. I'm against any programs that target and go after people who care about peace and healing and just want everybody to be okay and be there for others. Peace on earth, love, utopia. And I'm not talking about becoming a cyborg person. I'm against any kind of NASA war program or whatever it's called to turn us into AI robot connected beings. I don't want that. I don't want the mark of the beast. I don't want anything in my hand or forehead. I'm against all of that. And for those of you that wonder if I don't accept the blood of Christ's sacrifice, if Christ in fact did die for my sins, which I believe he died for a purpose of not requiring to, but it was as though he did, then I accept the blood sacrifice if that was what was required. But I was told by that Christ that that's not the way it works, and there's more forgiveness for everybody. But because of my heart, I'm okay, regardless how I perceive it or see it as. But yeah, I do accept the sacrifice of Christ's atonement or whatever that was said to have done, just differently than the religions tell you it. I'm more of the agnostic awareness of gospel and the Greg Braden gift of the blessing way of where we can all bless and create and make things happen for ourselves so we can bless things into being. So I just wanted you all to know that right now I'm in my apartment. It is 4:36 p.m. Friday, May 1st, 2020. I wanted to mention that I'm here and I've been doing it for 27 minutes and 11 seconds. Yeah. And now I'm doing more. I wanted to let you be aware that I don't generally do FaceTime, and don't worry about any physical thing that you see, but if you can tell, my face and thing is way better than it used to be back in the day because of the health that I eat healthier food now. But I still need more than what I'm helping to correct the fracture in my lower back and to maybe find a way to be able to get the metal out of my body, because the metal deterioration rate causes effects in the heat and the cold more, and it affects my ability, and it can trigger a gap fracture area that I did a pain journal for, and I verified it to the doctor at the Farmington Hospital at University of Utah connection, and I verified with them about that, and my doctor there, who is also a surgeon and knows the previous doctor who did the original surgery on me, knows that I believe in going to Theta Wellness. I even got a referral from him and then through the other doctor to go to Theta Wellness back then. And that would have been back in 2017 when I got these referrals. I went to Theta Wellness and in 2017, and then I did those things, and then I learned things after that. And then by 2018, I started to realize things, and they started to notice that I was being a vegan, organic vegan, non-GMO, non-chemical as much as possible. And you can't avoid it completely, but you got to do your best to bless it and to find ways to get away from that as much and stop people from doing that in the air. But that's what all this is that's been going on. And I was warned about what was going to happen. I was told you need to let people know, because between then 2017 and 2019, Hebrew 11:32 to 34, I was drawn to in that experience where I saw Christ and he bawled with me and then hugged me and told me what to do. I even saw my name in the book of name. It was put in my lap. There was a lot of different experiences. I was downloaded, like the spiritual hands were on my spiritual experience or vision that I was having at the time during that therapy session. This neuralistic programming type session of healing to relieve anxiety and blocks to make it so that I can be what I wanted to be. Well, what happened is I became a better individual from this experience. And it was really cool because it healed. I told them I wanted to heal my visualization, but I wasn't able to fully heal that. But I still have issues with the impairment. And I think a lot of that was because of the programs I was secretly put in and taken when I was a child and abducted or secretly taken while I'm sleeping or whatever. And I was told by that experience in 2017 that all the things that I was worried about or concerned about was true, that those things did happen, and I have the right to be aware of them, and that there are things happening to me and others, and that we are being abducted or being affected in. And it's really horrible. And I kind of move my eyes around and move my hands around because I have a really different way of communicating than most people do. I believe in telling the truth and being completely honest. All the stuff that I'm telling you is true, and it's really irritating that people don't understand and they say, oh, well, I believe you believe it's true. No, I experienced it. If you experienced what I experienced, then you would have more sympathy and empathy. You wouldn't just sympathize, you would empathize. There are many others that have had these issues and these attacks. But yeah, when you wake up to have a little tack at your belly that you're concerned about, and I'm not going to grab the one that I believe is the tack that affect me, but I'm going to grab one that looks like it, that's the same kind, because it was just out of a bat. They grab stuff from your home while they're here, so that they use your own stuff against you, so that their fingerprints and stuff won't be on it, but yours will. And so they do this as tactical stuff for misdirection and stuff for whatever, to make people think that you're the one doing it when it's really them that did it, to try to say that you are, and then they say who they are that did it. But they give you truth in plain sight, and sometimes they mess up. And I was told by the higher self Christ that they'll mess up, and that they're going to mess up with these awarenesses with me. Anyway, I'm going to try to keep this video as short as I can, but it's going to be at least under an hour. But right now, I was hoping I would do it shorter, but I needed to let you be aware. This is what was put under my belly to try to roll on it, is what they tried to do. This, and then I noticed in my apartment that they'll come in while I'm sleeping and they'll leave things behind that I noticed that they must have been going through my stuff, and somehow some of the stuff came onto their clothes or whatever, because they went into my tree closet or something. And so I have a ceramic tree. And so this piece right here, let's see, that's not a good one. There's a one over here that I've seen them drop. Here we go. So this right here, if you see what that is, that's not grass, that's fake ceramic type pieces